around here, and I am here with a very special and important project. I've been wanting to build a Viking Age shield for a very long time with heavy oxen rawhide or heavy rawhide, and see how durable the shield could actually be using very thin wood like pine, but the actual rawhide being the true strength behind the shield. Well, I addressed Joerg Sprave on this thing, saying that I believe I could build a period shield if I could afford it, and beat your new polycarbonate shield from the time-traveling Viking. I was surprised that I got an immediate contact from Viking War of Clans, a game that I do play myself, and they were more than happy to sponsor this historical project and this friendly competition, so to speak. Viking War of Clans has gone through a huge, massive expansion, finally adding new shaman and new kingdoms. This is really, truly the day to join the action. The Vikings really stands out with its HD 3D graphics and smooth gameplay. But best of all, you get to choose your own playstyle, meaning you can build an impenetrable fortress and hold on to what you own, or you can go out and gather an army of Vikings and berserkers and go around and ravage the land and take what you want. One of the things I like about Viking War of Clans are relive old games from back in the day. It's much like having the early EverQuest community with millions of players, but you can build a civilization and even destroy someone's civilization, much like Age of Empires, Warcraft, or one of my favorites, Dungeon Keeper. I also recommend that you try one of the in-game legendary battles with over 1 million players. I can't even describe how it makes you feel like a Viking or a true berserk ganger as you go through trying to crush your enemies and best them and see who is truly better. Try Vikings now, joining me and millions of others with the links down below. You'll get 200 gold, a protection shield, all for free. Ha ha ha! I'm here and proud to present Joerg Sprave's new Viking shield. And yes, this is a Viking Age shield based on the Trelleborg shield. It's only smaller. I've heard two accounts that the Trelleborg shield is like 35 inches or 31.5 inches. This one's 25, 26 inches in diameter, about 26 inches in diameter, counting the rimming. We have this today to present to Joerg Sprave. I'm sending it to him in competition with his polycarbonate shield from the time-traveling Viking. And we have Viking War of Clans to thank for me to be able to make these historical shields and afford the very expensive materials. They sent me the money for the episode and to ship the shield and create the shield for him. So to see more videos like this, I urge you, try the game out. I very much enjoy it. I play it myself and I think you'll like it. But helping the channel out would be to download the game from my links down below and try it out. At least give it a try and see what you think. I think you'll very much enjoy it. But the shield today, as you see, has Joerg Sprave's image on it, and this is underneath the rawhide, because rawhide's translucent. And a lot of the arguments that we get about Viking Age shields is we found pigment on the wood, and the wood was very thin pine planking, and it wasn't covered. So these shields must have been very brittle and fallen apart easily. They could have easily, because most of the time it's the backing, like on the Gokstad ship, we have like all black or blue pigment, or all yellow. So since there are black and yellow shields along the side of the ship, they immediately assumed that they were decorative and probably weren't covered. But the thing is, if they were to put a backing, as you can see the black through here easily, on the beard of Joerg Sprave, and all the colors, they could have put any backing they wanted under the hide, and then just did minor details on the outside of the actual hide and painted that to make their image. Make lots of sense. They wouldn't lose their color easily because it's protected by the rawhide facing. Now, this is a heavy rawhide facing, and as Joerg Sprave would say, let me show you its features. We have a very nice handle. It is pine as well. I shaped it properly based on the Trelleborg shield. Like I said, this one's very much based on the Trelleborg shield. I have iron nails that are clinch nails like you would find on a historical find such as that. And they go through the shield and bend over and go back into the shield. We have the hide on the backside as well. It's glued on with casing glue. This is what we believe they used historically. I'd like to thank Vegard Vike from Twitter, who showed me the design to stitch on the actual hide edging. And that is stitched through the shield in a very specific way. And this is boiled rawhide, or what some people call bleached, but it's usually boiled like the dog hide, rawhides that you see. For chews, of course. But the whole thing is, this is actually just me buying the material. This was not dog bones in any way. This was just like a lot of Native Americans use for decorative purposes and stuff, and it's a lot harder. It's like hardened leather. So I did this specifically for the edge, even though it might not have had it historically, to make sure it's a lot harder if he tries to cut it. And why would he want to cut such a beautiful shield with all the work I did? But anyway, we've got the center boss from Medieval Shop, and I'd like to thank Medieval Shop and your all Tim there for saying that I could definitely send this and it could be tested, because I mean, what if it failed? I don't think it will. It's ballistic resistant. I've tested it with 40 caliber Smith & Wesson handguns, 22s, 9mm. I had to knock the dents out, but he's getting a really good center boss here. And whether 12 gauge would be historical or not, most of the ones we find historically were made out of bog iron. They were smaller in diameter, the rimming around the outside. The dome was probably more pronounced, but they were about 8 to 9, 10 gauge iron. So that was way thicker than 12 gauge. So they most likely would be ballistic resistant as well. Anyway, we're shipping this off today to Joerg Sprave. I hope you enjoy this shield. And to talk about why does it perform so well. One of the reasons it performs so well, if you look here at the shield that I have tilled out, and there is no body that would testify otherwise by looking at the edge of this, how thin it is. This is ridiculously thin. We have our heavy rawhide on both sides, and it is a cowhide, glued on with casing glue, but what I did is I took the back off, because it was as thick as this shield here. This shield is 8mm wood planking in the center, to 5mm at the edging, and it tapered a little bit more to accept the edge, to an actual edge, like a razor edge, like a point, you know, that tapers quickly towards the edge. And this one here is now under 1/4 inch in the center and comes out to about 1/16 of an inch of the edge and then tapers to an edge. So this shield here is a lot lighter than it was, and actually to the Gokstad ship specs, which is when I wanted to bring up Rolf warming. I've been talking to him, and no, he wasn't saying that the shields wouldn't hold up and that's why they didn't use them in shield walls necessarily. He was saying the design of the shield and the way they're made was not to be used in shield walls, such as the scutum or the aspis, when, you know, they locked them all together and they were strapped on the arm and you could hold them there forever, and they were extremely heavy and durable and you could just beat on them all day and they wouldn't fall apart. Viking shield, although it's very resilient, you know, is probably not really that designed, but to be more interactive or proactive, which is true. If you watch this, it's very much like a bow and arrow or something. It's a springboard. That's why it performed so well in the video and took hardly no damage from the axe hits. They didn't even go into the wood. When I removed the backing, which was a test to see if I could remove the casing glue by putting warm water on it and prying it loose, I noticed even in the front side that, and for the back side when I tilled it out, it had not gone into the wood, the axe hits. I was very, very impressed. But now I have this shield, I'm finishing it out. Medieval Shop was nice enough to send me a boss for it, and this is a 14 gauge boss. A little bit lighter than the other one, but I really don't mind because it's a much larger shield. I think it'll work nicely on it. I'm not going to be shooting it with overpowered war bows or crossbows or anything, and I really think it will hold up extremely well anyway. We'll do a video on that. Your old Tim was also nice enough to send me some gifts. He sent me a nice little drinking horn. I think it's very, very nice. And a ring. This ring's great for holding a drinking horn, or if you want to carry your axe. Nice axe ring too. So, not to change the subject there, but I want to thank Medieval Shop Australia one more time for that. This shield will be finished out soon, and I'll be doing tests on it as the Gokstad ship shields, as a reproduction of it. It has the exact same lacing. I'll put the rimming back on. I think the rimming I have is fine. It's good enough. It does what it needs to do. Kind of like the look of it. And we'll put the handle back on, and this thing will be finished out. And I think it'll be a lot of fun to test. But on the Rolf warming thing, Thor's News badly misrepresented him. And I'd like to apologize to him. He's a shield brother and one of us. You might want to go by to the Society of Combat Archaeology. It's also known as combatarchaeology.org. He has a project there called Shields and Skins. I'll put that link down below, under the game links, so down below for that. And you can watch his video, or you can go by his webpage and check it out. But he's going to be checking out all the Vendel period shields, the migrational era shields, and the ones where we actually have hides on the shields. So we can find out what kind of hides they used, how thick the hides were, and compare it to the shield. I'm thinking, and like I mentioned to him today, that I think the larger shields, like the Gokstad ship, would have thicker, heavier hides from larger animals. That way you can get away with thinner boards and make a lighter, larger shield. Whereas if you had thinner hides And smaller animals, you can only make such a big disc out of it, because that's the way it works. You'd have thicker boards, shield boards, and maybe even slightly stronger types of wood and stuff used. But I think it was a balance for weight and design between the size of the shield and what kind of hide you could procure. Now, some people would only want a shield a certain size, I'm sure, due to them and their usage, or for what they were going to use it for. But I think that everybody prefer a larger shield if they got proper heights to do it with, and you had the technology and the time to work with it and make it. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed our little episode today. And all I can say is, always, farvel.